Gibbo presents.
In the early hours of Sunday morning, inside Albany Manor in Brooklyn, Blunt Posse defeated Poison Dart and Earth Ruler in dominating fashion. Just hours after the clash had come to an end, I caught up with the event's host and co-promoter, Gary Famus. I started by asking him to break down Blunt Posse's performance.
Well, from my perspective, I feel like Blunt team not only prepared, but they were well organized, and obviously they had their fan base there too, but there was fan base for every sound, but the execution phase of their preparation is what really put them over the top, because not only they prepared with good tunes, new tunes, what they executed, playing them in a good fashion. So basically, ultimately just led to their victory.
Blunt Posse's newest member, Black Roy, was mixing for them last night. In your opinion, how much has the addition of Black Roy improved Blunt Posse?
Well, from if I had to just judge you off last night's performance alone, I would say it improved a lot, but at the same time, to me, I felt like they had a good chemistry before, but they just took it to a different dimension. You see what I mean? And Black Roy really did well last night. I watched him work, and he was on point, and they were in sync. Mr. Lee was doing his thing on the mix-up. On the other side, when Black Roy was mixing the tunes, and Ajax was executing his speeches and his performance, it's like they practice it, talk about it, and then they execute it the way they wanted it to. So he really he helped out the team definitely a good plus.
So you feel there was no luck involved? It was clear that over the last few months they've been practicing and preparing, just waiting for that next clash date.
Yeah, well, when you said the word luck, you said that to the wrong person. Me, myself, don't believe in luck. Because what people call luck is preparation meeting opportunity. And the man them was prepared. And when they got the opportunity, they just seize it. So, I don't like the word luck. I feel like the man them just prepared to be serious. And they just wanted it. They wanted it the most. So basically, it showed. You see what I mean? So, I'm not going to water them win. Because they don't like lucky yard. You know what I mean? For me, I just feel like they seized the moment last night. And they took advantage of it. And they wanted it the most.
Ajax and Mr. Lee took turns at emceeing for Blunt Posse last night. Do you think it's benefited them using two MCs?
Well, at moments, Mr. Lee had, good moments, but overall, he had some bad crowd reactions. If I'm being honest, at times when he did take the microphone, the crowd didn't like it. And to me, my personal assessment, nobody can attack the song like Ajax. That's a field job, and basically,
prior to the clash, did you think Blunt Posse would win?
Well, prior to the clash, like I said, when me and Tech Nine was sitting down orchestrating, sort of put it together, we did it because we feel like all sounds were evenly matched in certain phases, and each one of them brought a certain dimension and certain, quality to this clash. So that's why it was a good lineup. So I'm gonna really tell you that, I kept an open mind with it because predetermination sometimes, lead to disappointment because, for instance, let me give you an example. A lot of people didn't show a lot of love to the Adi's Poison Dart dance when that kept, because they was predetermined. Adi's is going to need Poison Dart. But you see what happened. So, if you have to play the matches, you have to play the clashes, you cannot just come and say, well, this sound is going to win by far. If you're a die-hearted fan of that sound, of course you're going to do that. But overall, if you're a true fan, you have to always keep an open mind. And all of them is friends, and good friends with me and Tech Nine. So basically, we just stayed out of the, predetermination phase and just left it open to say, hey, any one of these sounds can win. It's all up to them how bad they want it, the execution and the preparation all coming together.
Did you and Tech Nine spend a lot of time considering which sounds to include in this clash, or did you decide on this lineup straight away?
Well, we came to the decision of it because really the one sound that we wanted to be in this clash was already set up as far as clash dates, they decided, well, we're just going to sit this one out. So we really didn't have to replace that sound. We just went another route, so it's not like anybody was overlooked. It's just that we had a lineup. Let me tell you, the lineup we had before that we was trying to put together before was LV, Poison Dart, and Gertruda. And then, LV at the time, wasn't sure if he wanted to be in this war, because he had other dates around that, what things coming up with plans. So, and this war was originally supposed to be in January. So that's another reason, we had to change from something because January ended up not being in the work, and everything was going to be busy around that time. But then once LB said they couldn't do it because of the time frame, it was automatically, decided by me that it wasn't even a question that was going to be blunt because, we wanted to keep it, well matched and keep a certain flavor to it and keep it spicy at all levels. So it's not like, we overlooked anybody, but you had to come up with an original tree or an original stew or whatever to do this formulate and mature it. But it was an easy decision to come up with these three sounds because, like I said, they all, are evenly matched in certain areas. So altogether a good lineup.
Could you evaluate Poison Dart's performance?
Poison Dart performance wasn't bad at all. I mean, as usual, the courtesy and Madras, they were in sync on point because, they're professionals. They're going to do what they do. The custom that they played from Tarantula was a wicked custom. I think that they're going to be talking about that one too. And overall, they came to play. They wanted to win as well, and you can tell that they prepared. It's just that last night, the crowd wasn't, at moments the crowd wasn't working with them as far as, some of the tunes that I know they felt that they wanted to execute a certain way. And the crowd wasn't working with them. They didn't get the reaction that they thought they would have gotten. But at the same time, I would say they did a really good job. They did a really good job. Consummate professionals as always.
Which dub or speech got the biggest forward last night, or sticks in your minds the most?
Well, I would have to say the new tunes. There's quite a few, but the new tunes from Blunt Posse, the Chronic tunes, and all of they got some really big forwards across New York with them on a level. You know, they even played some Tommy Lee that did very, very well. The custom from Poison Dot did very, very good today, you know. So I would say those stick out in my mind, but there was a lot of good moments. You know, this clash wasn't a boring clash at all.
Were you surprised that a Tommy Lee dub got such a good response?
No, because like I say, you know, it's all about execution. If you just plan to cut tunes and come and dance and feel like once you press play, the crowd is automatically supposed to just cheer and raise up for you and, you know, end up, you know, giving you some forwards without you putting some effort to bring the tune off and make it, you know, come off the best way possible. You're wrong. I feel like the tune did well because it was built up well. So when it got played, it was just like, you know, it got the reaction it was supposed to get with a built up like what it received. You know what I mean? So it's just the execution of how you play a tune. Because me personally, I have family in my box, and I diss family all the time when other songs play it against me. But if the person playing it against me or me playing it against somebody else, guess what? It's all about how I execute playing it. So I'm not really surprised because, like I said, Blunt Posse was well prepared and they executed well.
Earth Ruler put on another disappointing performance. Where do you feel they went wrong?
You know, some people might hate me or say I'm biased when I tell you this, but I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say the thing to them. They did not have the best performance. That's obvious. I was there, and I was not trying to say they did better than what people say, but it seemed to me that some of this crowd came predetermined after the third ruler body. So no matter what they did, I don't think that they would have got, you know, the response they wanted. So not everybody came like that, but I could see that certain people just came predetermined because they didn't play, you know, the tunes that they played used to tear them down. But I feel like the execution phase last night wasn't all there. You know, the creativity phase wasn't there. So I'm not going to sit there and try to make excuses for them. But you can tell that certain people came predetermined and just didn't want to hear them. And personally, they might just need to go into a rebuilding phase and, you know, go on a little hiatus and just revamp and rebuild because I know they got new team members and everything just so they can shake off these type of, you know, the losing blues right now and come back fresh. But I'm not going to say they did better than what they got. But I feel like, you know, if certain people didn't come predetermined, maybe they would have had a better fighting chance.
Were there many Earth Ruler fans at the clash?
Yeah, I can only tell you about the people I seen them walk in with it. It was just a handful. But, you know, this is Brooklyn, so, again, I'm not going to make any excuses for Earth Ruler because it's Brooklyn. They're a Brooklyn-based sound, playing against a Florida-based sound and a Bronx-based sound. So, you would think that their support will come out automatically, even if it's just to represent Brooklyn. So, you know, I can't talk to the fan base, what they brought. I can only see what they, you know, tell you what I seen coming with them, and it wasn't a lot. But you're in Brooklyn, so you be patient here regardless.
Blunt Posse will be back in action on April 12th, when they will go up against Young Hawk, Next Level, and Innocence at Brooklyn Massacre. Coming off last night's dominating performance, should they be seen as favourites going into this clash?
I mean, obvious. They should be, because anytime my song come off a good victory, clean victory at that, then people are going to want to see what they following up with. And again, I tell you about this predetermined thing. People are going to just, take it on eye and say, yo, them one they're going to win the next one, because right now, if them a play a song, they can't do nothing wrong. But you never know, you have to play the clashes. So, of course, my advice to them is still focus and just, don't make it get to them and just deal with it, continue dealing with it the way they did last night, and of course they will do it. But I don't ever like to say a song is automatically lose anyone, because I am not that type of song fan. And I'm a fan before I'm a song fan myself. So, obviously people are going to say yes after a performance like that. People are going to say yes, they are the favorite.
There was no tune for tune round last night, as it was deemed unnecessary after Blunt Posse had won all 3 rounds. Was it your decision to scrap the tune for tune rounds?
No. When it comes to both clash, the most known, make no decision. Now, I'm even in a unique situation like mine, where I'm a host and half the promotion, I still didn't make no decision. The only decision that we made collectively, Tech 9 and myself, was to shorten the rounds. So, orchestrated so they could be a tune for tune, because we were running out of time. You know what I'm saying? So, but as far as the no tune for tune part, that's all crowd. All I had to do was ask. I mean, even if it's obvious to me that the sounds involved, I have to be fair across the board and just act. But when I asked the crowd said no. So I don't think anybody will be talking about, oh, this sound walked out from this sound, never played tune for tune. No, because the crowd themselves said no tune for tune was warranted. And even if they said tune for tune, I didn't think we would have enough time to get a quality tune for tune in. So it was not right.
Some people argue that even if one sound has been dominating all night, that you should always go ahead with the tune for tune rounds. If we compare it to the NBA, if the Heat are up by 30 points going into the 4th quarter, the referee can't just call the game off. Is it right to change the rules once a clash has started? Or should we always stick to the agreed upon rules, no matter how a clash plays out?
Yes, I 100% unequivocally agree that when you agree to certain terms and say tune for tune, regardless how much you ahead, you always play. Because let me tell you, it's not just to benefit the crowd who pay their money to come possibly hear the tune for tune segment, because you might have a friend that all they come to hear from you is their tune for tune segment, so they cheer for you all night to get you to that point, so they can listen to some of the tunes that they love from your sound in tune for tune. So not only going to disappoint your owner fan if you don't, stay up there, but once you meet the certain rules, you have to abide by them. And then the second part to that is it benefits you as well as the sound who's playing and leading. You know why? If you walk out, then you're going to just put an asterisk next to the win that you work all clash hard to maintain and win the round. For you to walk out because you feel like there's none required. You just put an asterisk next to your win, so I'm glad none of that did happen.
When you're taking in a clash, are you able to view things as a clash fan, or are you always looking at things from the point of view of a sound man, thinking how you would play against the sounds you're watching and spotting weaknesses that you could exploit.
Listen, I'm a student of the game first, and a fan second, and a sound man third, because I view you all spectacles. You see, last night when I was watching this clash, my first thing was viewing it as a fan, because I gave every sound, forward. Any one of them can tell you, if I not doing something good, I put my hands in the air, blunt, hands in the air, hands, even when the crowd wasn't giving them forward, all three of them forward on certain phases of the rounds. If I like the tune, I put my hands in the air because I'm a true fan. You know what I mean? Then I have to look at it like, you know what, I think that's a good idea. Not that I'm looking to steal anybody's ideas, but I say to myself, I have to give them their respect when they play something unique to me that I see as a good idea. And then I always have to look at it as, what I would have done better. Because that's the sound part of me that I can't ignore. Naturally, I would have said, probably I'd have did this instead of this, or maybe I'd have put this rhythm, or this tune, or that rhythm, voice, that tune, you know what I mean? So, I don't give it to all spectacles, man, but you can't help it, at my point. If I never played a song ever in my life, maybe I could just view it to a friend's eye. But because I play sound and I'm in the business, I have to view to all spectacles, right?
Were you hoping for a Poison Darts victory last night so that your recent win over them would seem more impressive?
No, I don't like I said. I left this whole thing out as far as who I wanted to win, because I didn't care. My objective was to have a good clash that's lively, not boring, the people come and enjoy themselves. So the next time we do something, we say, well, these guys put good quality packages together, so yes, we're gonna come support. That's was the ultimate goal for me. I don't wish no sound victory, I wish no sound wrong for my personal gain. And sometimes, to be honest, people, I get used to being the dark horse so much that I embrace that position. So whether or not they wanted people call my name as well, enough people just keep twice and not get a deal for that piece of the boy. Other than what we have to, I don't even care if that one. Because I'm going to get paid regardless. And sometimes I want to be in that dark horse position where people don't pay me too much attention. So whenever I do perform and we do play out, then, it always comes to a point where people have to open their eyes and think, wow, these dudes can play. These dudes have tune. So I embrace the position that I'm in. I don't worry about, I don't think about stuff like that.
Looking back, how do you feel about your first New York-based promotion? Are you happy with the way things went?
Oh yeah. I'm really happy. I haven't really, got out there and started looking at social media and reading some of the things that's being said to detail yet. But me, I feel good. Personally, I have to feel good first. If I don't feel good, then I know that the people out there that went to the clash is not going to feel good. But me personally feel good because I felt like I personally deal with it. Fear on every round. I mean, I wish Tech Nine would have took some of the hosting, but he wasn't really feeling up to it last night. So I took the whole thing, and I wasn't prepared for that, but I executed it, and I feel like I was fair to each sound. I kept the whole thing clean, and and as long as the right sound won, I feel like I did a good job at that point. I feel like the crowd was a good crowd, and they had, they enjoyed themselves. So it's like everything to me that I wanted to accomplish with this first promotion that I'm personally a part of. I did, and it happened, so I feel good about it.
Do you have plans to hold any more clashes in the near future?
Oh yeah.
Are you based in New York these days?
Oh, no. I personally live in Virginia. But we have, some people have people based everywhere from here in Brooklyn, to Atlanta, Virginia, in Jamaica. Right now we have two members, one in Korea and one is in Japan. So we are all over the place. And that's why we getting away from this. Enough people from Virginia. Yeah, the sound started in New York and New York. Moved and migrated to Virginia and basically, made our mark there. But once we started expanding, we don't want to really kind of, have the sound just a Virginia-based sound. So we want to get away from the South people from Virginia thing and just say South people sound.
Would you like to bring big-time Clash action to Virginia? Or do you think Virginia isn't quite ready for this kind of event?
No, I wouldn't say bring big-time Clash action, but bring back some Clash action because there was a Clash scene when I got to Virginia in the late 90s. And it seemed like a lot of people moved away. Some of the hardcore fans stopped coming out, But I would like to bring back that vibes that was there one time. And I'm going to have to, start off by putting some quality packages, which it's already in the works. I've already been talking to a few sounds and venues. And cause the big thing about Virginia is not every owner of a venue want that type of, environment because they're not totally in agreement with it or they don't know enough about it. So you have to kind of, bring it back to them and let them see what it's all about. They just want to make it one nowadays. A lot of these venue owners, they just want to, rent their venues or keep things themselves. They don't really want to expand or try new things. So I work with a few people that's willing, to kind of help me bring it back. I'm talking to a few sounds, and it's in the works. Trust me, you're gonna see good things down in Virginia this year because there's sounds that are in Virginia. You just don't hear about it.
Will the audio of last night's Clash be made available?
Oh yes. Make sure it's a good clean audio, quality-wise. And then once it's put together well, we want to release it. We don't want to rob the public of it. We talk. Sometimes someone will talk and say, "Why we're not release the audio? We're just come on the dance side. We're not going to hear it. We're not going to do that to the public. Do the good, and then we're not going to do it to the sound. We be doing the sound a big injustice if we don't release it, especially the winner. We have to keep promoting that win. We can't just, stifle the man them when we want to do that. So yeah, the audio would be available.
Was there video recorded as well?
Yes, there's video. There was video. I'm not sure when the video is going to get put together and put out, but there was video as well.
Lastly, tell us where we can find yourself and Love People Sounds over the coming weeks and months.
Well, I have a few things coming up, I have to come defend Face Off and Killer Cup in New York City. Myself and Tech 9, look out for that one. In June, we promoted from last night, but we go there in June. All I can say confidently right now is me and Tech 9 will be in a clash against each other in June. Two other sounds. I don't want to release his own lineup yet, but that won't be a Tech 9 of people promotion, be Tech 9 promotion, but look out for number one in June. So I'm gonna be doing 3 clashes in New York. Then I have a clash in Jamaica that's coming up with a few sounds, and then possibly in September, if everything works out the right way and happens the way it's planned, we go to Europe for at least 10 to 12 days. So we're gonna be active this year doing some things. And we have an England in June that's being formed as well. So there's some things coming up for this song.
Thanks a lot, Gary. I know you must be a bit sleep deprived right now. So I appreciate you taking time to chat and analyze last night's action.
Yeah, man, Gibbo, like I said, man, respect. I thank you for the support. I mean, all the way you came and take time out to call and speak with us and run down the clash scene and everything like that, and basically put it out to the public. I really appreciate your support, man. Thank you. And big up, my partner in crime again, Tech 9, being able to come together and put a good quality package together, and big up the people who came out and supported. From all love people, family, from Father Ninja to Chica, Killer Khan, Big Mac, Coffee, and, Poison, the whole New York based people family. And like I said once again, big up yourself and give up on a very, very good job. Thank you.
Gibbo.